Good morning, everybody. I'm Guillermo Salazar. I'm the CEO at IrisCX. Thanks for tuning in. I'm here to talk a bit about the four horsemen of maintenance under the guise of the problems that we're trying to solve out there today, and the impact on overall, efficiency, productivity, and the way your team is running. So I worked in 25 years in maintenance and facilities, consulting, implementing systems, etc. And the three things we're always focused on over the last 25 years has been faster work orders, faster inspections, fast returns. So we can do those three things well, we can get to save a lot of time. Now, in Iris, you can cut 50% of your trips, close 30% of your work orders in about 90 seconds, and then cut 75% of your inspection time. And I'll lay into how we do that in 2 seconds. So we talk about maintenance. Maintenance used to be a predictable function. It was not easy. The people worked quite hard, but it had a rhythm to it. It was predictable. So you could inspect, you could scope, you could fix, you could close. And maybe every fourth week you had an on-call shift, but generally speaking, there was a element of it that was something you could rely on, right? Then kind of as maintenance started breaking down, with the four horsemen started showing up. So the four horsemen in maintenance are talent. So for every 5 people leaving maintenance tech roles, one's coming in. So you get a 20% replacement rate. So we're obviously on a massive decline of professionals that can do this work in the field. Number 2, delays. So because we have less people, obviously we've got delays in getting the work done, or we need to be more urgent, or residents have a higher expectation than they ever did before about getting things done. So we're a little bit late on the work order. We're a little bit late on the work orders have gone up from average 48 hours to almost 72 hours. We've seen work orders with parts required edging up on 18 days to get that completed. We're seeing turns being delayed, going from 5-day turns to like some days 11, 12, 14-day turns to get things done, right? The duration of the work that's getting to be completed is extending, and that having a massive impact on the next horseman, cost. So cost is actually a reflection of the supply side and the work side. So on the cost side, you're seeing not only the 5-to-1 ratio of people that are departing and people coming in, but you're also competing with for staffing talent with data centers. So you're competing with Amazon, you're competing with Facebook, Meta, or Facebook, Google, Amazon, Microsoft. Like these entities are building $40 billion a month in data centers right now. And that's going to consume people from the capital construction side of things. In addition, it's going to consume people from the operating side of things. You're also competing with private equity. So private equity has entered into the trade space. They have bought up a ton of private equity, a ton of companies out there that are increasing their wages by 20% for those talents. So 20% private equity bump, and then a 40 to 50% bump for data center work. Electricians are getting paid upwards of $200,000 to do electrical work at the data center level. The third kind of combatant in this field for talent is military. U.S. military is looking to hire 400,000 HVAC and plumbers and electricians by 2031. That is the next 5 years. They're going to take 400,000 techs out of the market, right? In addition, we're adding in more units in multifamily and property management that need to be managed. So ultimately, the cost numbers have stopped working and will stop working in 2026. Now, because we're reducing the number of people that have to do the work, we've increased the amount of work, and the cost to hire that people has gone through the roof. We're getting more churn because we're not able to do the work we need to do. We can't turn out units appropriately. We can't turn out units properly. We can't get our work orders completed fast enough. We can't get our inspections done. Things are breaking. Consequently, we have this churn effect, which is the fourth horseman that's showing up, and this degenerative spiral feeds on itself, because as churn starts to happen, you've got less revenue able to support your asset, and then consequently you have less funds available to be able to hire new people and compete in that talent war to get the work, have the work get done. So we stood back, and a lot of us in 2024, 2023, 2025, and started adding more stuff. We added more tech, we added more vendors, we added more tools, and of course, we sprinkled AI on top of everything. And that was a best intention that made the breakdown in maintenance even worse. We've been automating work at a faster rate onto an already overloaded team. And that team is suffering with poorly described work orders, with unit turns that are poorly scoped, with back and forths, with return backs, all this kind of effort that is wasted and low productivity and ultimately grinds the ability to be able to get the job done. And these people, when you talk to them and you ask them what's the problem, they say, I don't have the data. I don't know what's going on. And so I'm guessing, I'm estimating, I'm loading up my golf cart or my service vehicle or whatever it is, all the tools or parts that I possibly could use to solve the problem. So the answer is triage first. If you talk to these people in the field, the first thing they're going to tell you is, I get a work order, I need to get eyes on the problem. I need to see the problem that's going on. I need to hear the condenser noise. I need to see that AC unit, hear that AC unit. So how can we increase the amount of triage? And if we increase triage, we can increase, because we know if we increase triage, we can increase automation, effective triage, we can increase automation. That's going to bring down the work orders. That's going to bring down the dispatches, bring down the cost, bring down the workload on our people. The problem is that how we're triaging things right now isn't reflective of the environment we're supporting. So we take a look at the reality that is that words don't do a very good job of describing things, especially when the words are coming from the resident that is the least qualified to be able to diagnose the situation. That's why they're calling that's why they're creating a work order to begin with. So we're taking the least qualified information and then we're accelerating it through your automation. So let's pause. We ask the techs in the field, what are you doing? What do you see? How are you understanding this? And they say, well, we got to get eyes on the problem. We got to see what's going on. So we've built Iris to solve this issue. Iris is the first solution that solves that breakdown that's happening in maintenance because we enable vision. And vision built into a single application changes everything. With voice, video, photo, and chat built into a single application that allows you to triage, inspect, and scope all that front-end maintenance work. And then you can do that on-site, off-site, and then you can drive all that automation through whatever systems you're using to run your maintenance program. If you don't get the data right at the front end, if you don't take that chance to engage and take like 30, 45, 90 seconds to be able to understand the problem, you're just burning resources. You're trading hundreds for 20s, for 10s on the back end of it and losing all day long. So with Iris, what you get to do is you get outcomes of like 90-second remote closes in your work orders. You get like 75% cut down in your inspection time. So your inspections are easier to do, faster to do, less admin, less overhead, which creates a better PM and a work order that you want to do for the work that needs to be delivered. And because you're getting all this data up front, you're cutting 50% of your trips. So for a context, 50% of your trips, every service request has roughly 1.7 trips related to it. And that could be a trip to the parts depot, that could be back and forth to the residence unit or the home. That 1.7 trips equals 170 trips. On Iris, you're gonna get 100 service requests. You'll deflect 30 of them right away, right? So you're down to 70 work orders. Another 70 work orders, you get 1.1 trips. So 1.1 trip equals 80 trips. So you're going from 170 trips to 80 trips because you understand the problem and you've sought to troubleshoot it before you dispatch that truck. That's where the 50% comes from. And on Iris, you can get started in 1 day. So there's no long deployment timeline, just no, it's 5-6 months to deploy the AI chatbot that's going to learn all the things you do. You deploy in 1 day, leverage your people, and then you use Iris to build the infrastructure and understanding about your units, about your residents, about your problems. And that forms the AI that helps build a circle around the problems that you solve. So get started in 1 day, see value in 48 hours, be ready to rock. Let me know if you've got any problems. If you're frustrated with your choices from 2025, if you're frustrated with the hiring that you were forced to make and the job postings that are open, the work orders that are sliding, the terms that are left open with the excess work orders that occur after a resident moves in, all of that stuff, if that is something that you are frustrated with and you're exhausted, what you consider to be your alternatives, give me a call and let's have a chat about what we can talk about. Maybe we can help you. Maybe we can't help you. And if I can't help you, I will put you in the direction of someone that can, because we can solve this with technology. We can solve this together. You do not have to repeat the pain and suffering of 2025 and think that you can fix it in 2026. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day. Bye.